Hey everyone, good morning. March 17th, 2023, St. Paddy's Day for all of you who are of Irish persuasion. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I want to give you a little update on a stock that I introduced you to in a recent video, and that stock is part of the fertilizer complex. In a recent video, I introduced you to a former professor, retired professor at the University of Manitoba in Canada. His name was Václav Siml. Dr. Siml has a number of books published. Go to your local library and you can find a good number of them. Fabulous material to read. His argument is that our modern day society rests on a number of key pillars. Those pillars are plastics, cement, steel, and synthetic ammonia fertilizer. And it is my argument, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Siml would agree with me, that lithium is becoming another of those pillars in our society. But in the recent video, I did talk to you about synthetic ammonia fertilizer, and I want to just bring you up to speed on what's happening in that regard. I explained in the video that nitrogen fertilizer, ammonia fertilizer, is critical for growing agricultural crops. Farmers plant their seeds in the spring of the year, and they also apply copious amounts of fertilizer at the same time. The plants germinate, the seeds germinate, start to grow, and the growing plant will absorb the nitrogen and its metabolic pathways will be strengthened. The plant will grow bigger, stronger, faster. It will give you more bushels to the acre of soybeans, corn, wheat, and we need it. We have 8 billion people on this planet. We have to feed them 3 times a day. Farmers, not only in North America, but around the world, have to use fertilizer. It is indispensable. It is critical. It is a must-have. Now, the company that I introduced you to was an American company, CF Industries. First started trading in August of 2005 on the New York Stock Exchange. Its ticker symbol, by the way, is CF. And fundamentally, I like the company. PE ratio is 7 times. Profit margin is 30%. If I want to buy $1 of free cash flow, I just have to buy $5.50 worth of CF Industries stock. Compare these numbers to a lot of other stocks that you will find on the New York Stock Exchange in different sectors of the market. I've seen stocks where you have to pay literally $100 to get $1 of free cash flow. I've seen stocks that have very, very slim profit margins, elevated PE ratios. CF Industries has none of that. Simple reason is they are producing a product that has to be used by farmers every spring. It is just, there's no other alternative. You have to fertilize your fields. Now, in the last video, I described what I was looking at. I said that in the 2005 first trade IPO horoscope, there were a number of critical points that I spotted, a number of critical planets, and I pointed out that as moon, as in every lunar 30-day cycle, as moon passes by these critical points, all too often that resulted in swing highs or swing lows on CF Industries. And then I went on to explain to you that I was seeing CF Industries trade in a sideways channel. And I explained that as CF Industries had rallied between 2021 and 2022, it was starting to decline, but I pointed out that I felt it had made its bottom around the $80 level, and fundamentally, based on its profit margin and its the product that it's making and how farmers have to use it, I said this is not an $80 stock. I said this stock is probably deserving of a price closer to 100. Now, I said what I was looking at was the slow stochastic. I said I was waiting for the stochastic to get above the 80 level, its upper bound, and I was hoping that it would cross its upper bound at the same time as Moon passed by one of these key points in the horoscope, and I explained that that was going to give me the buy signal. And I felt that even if I had to buy it at $88 or slightly more, I was still going to do well in the trade because I felt it was going to go to 100, maybe even 110. So what ultimately happened, you ask? This is what happened. The price actually fell out the bottom of the sideways channel. I never did get my buy signal. Why? Well, it seems a bunch of bankers in California exercised a goodly amount of human stupidity in the management of their bank. The bank failed, Silicon Valley Bank. That caused the regulators to get their hackles up. They closed down another bank in Buffalo, New York. They then turned their sights to the First Republic Bank of California. And then the icing on the cake, Credit Suisse in Zurich, Switzerland. The shit literally hit the fan, and it now is probably not going to survive this coming weekend. So anytime you have uncertainty, bank failures, regulators moving in, the big traders are going to start paring back on stocks in their funds, good stocks and bad stocks alike. The baby always gets thrown out with the bathwater in these times of crisis. And that's what I think we're seeing on CF Industries. So from 2021 until November of 2022, CF Industries basically trended higher. And then there was a lot of fear about slowing economy and recession, and the media just got so morose and so dire. People started selling off again through November, December, and I mean, it got to the point where people finally said, hold it, we need fertilizer. Why are we selling this thing off? And that's why it launched into its sideways channel. But then fear over the banking crisis in California, fear over Credit Suisse in Zurich, and like I say, the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater. So where are we today? Well, we have declined and given back a lot of the gains made between 2021 and November 2022. How much have we given back, you ask? Fibonacci 61.8%. Now, could this thing go lower? Could the baby get further thrown out with the bathwater? Yep, probably could. If it does want to keep selling off, the next would be a 78.6% retracement, and I mean that's going to put you down into the low 60s, just unheard of. I think we're probably going to settle in here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the stock lapses into a sideways channel here, and that's fine, because once the fear subsides over these banking crises, common sense will prevail, and I think you're going to see it move up again. So I'm heartened right now by the fact that even though the stochastic is oversold, I do have a positive crossover. And I am going to be buying some CF Industries here right now today. And what I'm seeing is over the next several days, throughout next week, I'm seeing that the moon is going to be transiting past a number of key points on that 2005 natal horoscope. So we've got a number of trigger points coming at us in fast succession, and I do think we are going to get a buy signal. I think the stochastic is going to start moving up for me. And you know what? If I'm wrong and I end up owning some shares of CF Industries at $70, I'm okay with that, because the product they're making is indispensable. Farmers need it. We have to use it. We have 8 billion people on the planet. We have to feed them. And we just have to get the maximum number of bushels per acre of everything that we grow around the world, and that takes fertilizer. So as I said, over the next several days, there are a number of key points that Moon is going to transit past. The other big one I'm looking at is Mars. And Mars is going to be transiting past the natal midheaven point. It takes Mars a fair amount of time to go one time around the zodiac. So here we are with the stock, deeply oversold, maybe thrown out with the bathwater. Everybody's afraid. And here's Mars. Mars is a major, major trigger point when it passes things like the midheaven or the ascendant. And here's our moon, and it's going to be, going past a number of key points. It's going to be also passing the natal midheaven, and it will be passing the natal sun, the natal ascendant. So we've got a lot of action coming at us here next week, and I would say keep your eye on CF Industries and get ready to potentially add a little bit of it to your portfolio. All right, that's it for me. Just remember, I've had a number of discussions this week about the Financial Astrology Almanac. No, I did not predict the Silicon Valley banking crisis. The one thing astrology will never do is predict outbreaks of human stupidity, banker mismanagement. I can't do that. But what I do in the almanac is I show you a number of different cycles. And yes, there were a number of cycles that came due over the past, 8 or 10 days. And I thought the markets were going to move higher. I just had no idea that there were these bankers in California and other places that were so foolish and running their banks in such a shoddy manner. Take a trip to my website. You'll see I produce a number of subscription-based newsletters. I've got a couple courses on udemy.com. This weekend I'm going to be finishing a third one. And what this third one is going to talk about is Fibonacci. And I tie that argument back to the planets in our cosmos. And I show you more detail on these Fibonacci retracements. And I show you how that ties then to basic astrology. And this Udemy course then will nicely complement the other two that I already have on Udemy. And finally, I'm told that this weekend sometime, my typesetter will have the Follow the Trend book ready. And hopefully by the end of next week, you will see that on Amazon and other platforms. All right, so don't lose too much sleep. Just remember that throughout human history, the banking class has always been bailed out by the political class. The political class operates from a position of fear. They have to get reelected every election cycle. And if they have people who have lost their money, who can't get their money out of the bank, these people are not going to reelect the political class. So really and truly throughout history, the bankers have always had the politicians in their back pocket. They've always had the politicians backed into a corner. And so it is here and now. This banking crisis will get resolved. The political class will bail them out again. Yes, that adds to and enhances the moral hazard and the risk taking that is prominent in the banking industry. But that is just how the world unfolds, and it is going to unfold the very same way this time around. All right, we will talk very soon, and thank you kindly for taking the time to watch this short video this morning. Have a great day. Cheers.